The familiar chime of the evening news echoed through millions of homes across the globe, a comforting routine in an increasingly chaotic world. Families settled into their sofas, expecting the usual litany of political squabbles and celebrity gossip. Instead, their screens flickered, distorted, and then stabilized to reveal a sight that would change the course of human history. An alien visage filled the frame, regal, otherworldly, and undeniably powerful. Her skin shimmered with an iridescent blue hue, and what appeared to be delicate fronds crowned her head, swaying gently as if suspended in water. This was Princess Zora of the Aquilan Empire, though humanity had yet to learn her name or the weight it carried across the stars. People of Earth, her voice resonated, a symphony of liquid tones that seemed to bypass the ears and speak directly to the mind. Your planet stands at the precipice of a new era. I come to you not as a conqueror, but as a harbinger of your potential. Across the planet, chaos erupted. Emergency services were flooded with calls, social media exploded with theories and panic, and governments scrambled to make sense of a situation for which they had no protocol. In the Oval Office, the President of the United States sat ashen-faced, surrounded by equally stunned advisors. How the hell did they hijack every broadcast signal on the planet? He demanded, his words met with helpless shrugs and frantic typing on secure terminals. Princess Zora continued, her expression a mask of benevolent authority. We have watched your species with great interest. Your resourcefulness, your adaptability, your sheer tenacity in the face of a hostile universe. These qualities have not gone unnoticed. But now you face a test. The fronds atop her head flared, and the camera panned out to reveal a vast starship hanging in Earth's orbit, dwarfing the International Space Station like a whale next to a minnow. You possess a vessel, Zara declared, her tone brooking no argument. A ship of unprecedented capability, hidden from your own people. We require this ship for a mission of utmost galactic importance. Surrender it within 24 Earth hours, or face the consequences of your refusal. In a secret bunker deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Elena Vasquez slammed her fist on the table. How could they possibly know about Phoenix? She growled, eyeing the room of top military brass and scientists. It's our best-kept secret. Dr. Amit Patel, the lead engineer of Project Phoenix, nervously adjusted his glasses. The quantum entanglement drive. Its test runs must have been detected. We thought the signatures were masked, but clearly we underestimated their technology. Back on screens worldwide, Princess Zora's ultimatum reached its crescendo. To demonstrate the gravity of this demand, we offer you a glimpse of what non-compliance entails. The view shifted to Earth's moon. A pencil-thin beam of light lanced from the alien ship, striking the lunar surface. Where it touched, the regolith bubbled and vaporized, carving a chasm visible to the naked eye from Earth. Millions watched in horror as a crater the size of Texas formed in mere seconds. This, Zara's voice intoned over the destruction, is but a fraction of our capability. Your most formidable weapons would barely scratch our hull. Yet we come not to conquer, but to elevate. Give us your ship, and we shall open the stars to humanity. Refuse, and remain forever grounded, your potential squandered. The broadcast cut off abruptly, leaving stunned silence in its wake. For a moment, the entire planet held its breath. Then, pandemonium. Streets filled with panicked crowds. Looting began in major cities. Doomsday cults emerged from the woodwork, proclaiming the end times. Military bases worldwide went to death's yawn too, missiles primed and armies mobilized against an enemy they couldn't hope to defeat. In the Pentagon's most secure conference room, Joint Chiefs argued vociferously. "We can't give up Phoenix," shouted the Air Force Chief of Staff. "It's our only ace in the hole." "And what happens if we don't?" countered the Secretary of Defense. "We just saw what they did to the moon. Imagine that beam hitting New York, or Beijing, or Moscow." As debates raged and the clock ticked down, Captain Sarah Chen sat in a nondescript holding cell, unaware that her life was about to change forever. The disgraced war hero, court-martialed for disobeying orders to save civilians, was about to be thrust into humanity's greatest challenge. 23 hours remained until Zara's deadline. Earth's leaders faced an impossible choice: surrender their greatest technological achievement or risk the annihilation of their species. As the world teetered on the brink of chaos, the stage was set for an interstellar drama that would determine the fate of humanity among the stars. As the 24-hour deadline dwindled, the secret facility deep within Cheyenne Mountain buzzed with frantic activity. General Elena Vasquez strode purposefully through reinforced blast doors, her face a mask of determination. She entered a vast underground hangar, where the gleaming hull of humanity's greatest technological achievement awaited its unveiling. Project Phoenix rose before her, a starship that defied conventional understanding of human capabilities. Its sleek design incorporated smooth curves that seemed to bend light itself, a stark contrast to the bulky rockets of the past. Iridescent panels along its surface pulsed with an otherworldly energy, hinting at the revolutionary propulsion system hidden within. Dr. Amit Patil approached, his usual excitement tempered by the gravity of the situation. "General, the quantum entanglement drive is fully operational. We've also integrated the reverse-engineered shielding technology from the Roswell incident. It's as ready as it'll ever be." Vasquez nodded curtly. "And the crew?" "That's complicated." Patel hesitated. "Our top pilots are trained, but for a mission like this, we need someone who can think outside the box. Someone unpredictable." The general's eyes narrowed. "You're not suggesting?" "Captain Sarah Chen," Patel finished. "I know her record is controversial, but her tactical genius is unmatched. If anyone can outmaneuver an advanced alien species, it's her." Meanwhile, in a sparse military cell, Captain Sarah Chen lay on her bunk, staring at the ceiling. The disgraced war hero replayed the mission that had led to her court-martial for the 1,000th time. She had disobeyed direct orders, risking an entire operation to save a village of civilians. The brass called it insubordination. She called it humanity. The cell door clanged open. "On your feet, Chen," a gruff voice ordered. "Your country needs you." Moments later, Sarah found herself face to face with General Vasquez. The older woman's stern expression betrayed a hint of desperation. "Captain Chen, I'll be blunt. Earth is facing an unprecedented threat, and we need the best pilot we've got. That's you." Sarah's mind raced. "With all due respect, General, last I checked, I was persona non grata around here." "Times change," Vasquez replied, sliding a tablet across the table. "This is Project Phoenix. Top secret. It's a ship that can go toe-to-toe with what's hanging over our heads right now. We need you to fly it." As Sarah absorbed the incredible specs of the vessel, Vasquez continued, "You'll be working with a unique crew. The best and brightest, but not always the most stable. Your first officer is Dr. Kira Donovan, a brilliant xenobiologist with a penchant for taking unnecessary risks. Your chief engineer, Raj Kapoor, is a savant with alien tech, but has a problematic history with authority." Sarah raised an eyebrow. "Sounds like a powder keg waiting to explode." "That's why we need you, Chen. Your unorthodox thinking might be the only thing that keeps this crew alive and Earth safe." As they walked towards the hangar, Sarah was briefed on the mission. They were to hand over the ship to Princess Zora, but with a catch: a hidden kill switch that would allow Earth to disable the vessel if necessary. It was a dangerous gambit, one that could backfire spectacularly if discovered. The hangar doors parted, revealing Project Phoenix in all its glory. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. It was beyond anything she had ever imagined, a perfect fusion of human ingenuity and reverse-engineered alien technology. As the crew assembled, tension crackled in the air. Dr. Kira Donovan, a tall woman with vibrant purple hair, eyed the ship with undisguised glee. "Oh, the things we'll discover out there," she murmured, her eyes gleaming with a fervor that bordered on mania. Raj Kapoor, a stocky man with cybernetic implants visible at his temples, scowled at the military personnel. Just don't let your jarheads touch my engines, he grumbled. Sarah took a deep breath, assessing her volatile team. This wasn't just a mission. It was a tightrope walk over an abyss, with the fate of humanity hanging in the balance. As the crew boarded and systems hummed to life, a communication came through. Princess Zora's face appeared on the main screen, her alien features unreadable. "I see you've made the wise choice," she intoned. "Prepare for docking. Your journey begins now." Sarah settled into the captain's chair, her mind already formulating plans and contingencies. As Project Phoenix lifted off, breaking free of Earth's atmosphere with unprecedented ease, she allowed herself a small, grim smile. Whatever lay ahead in the vast expanse of space, humanity wasn't going down without a fight. The game of galactic chess had begun, and Sarah Chen intended to win. The sleek form of Project Phoenix glided smoothly alongside the colossal alien vessel. As they approached the docking bay, Captain Sarah Chen couldn't shake the feeling that they were minnows swimming into the maw of a leviathan. Initiating docking sequence, Raj announced, his fingers dancing over the holographic controls. The ship shuddered slightly as it locked into place with a soft thunk. Sarah stood, straightening her uniform. "Remember the plan. We're here to hand over the ship, nothing more. Keep the kill switch protocol close to your chest." She fixed each crew member with a stern gaze. "Trust no one." As the airlock hissed open, they were greeted by a contingent of Princess Zora's guards. Towering humanoids with shimmering, scale-like skin and eyes that seemed to see in spectrums beyond human perception. At their center stood Zora herself, somehow even more regal and intimidating in person. "Captain Chen." Zora's melodious voice reverberated through the docking bay. "Your species has made a wise decision. Your vessel will serve a greater purpose than you can imagine." Sarah stepped forward, her posture radiating a confidence she didn't entirely feel. "We've upheld our end of the bargain, Princess. Now, about your promise to open the stars to humanity." A flicker of something, amusement, disdain, crossed Zora's alien features. "All in due time, Captain. First, we have urgent matters to attend to. Your crew will remain aboard to assist with the integration of your ship's systems into our fleet." Alarm bells rang in Sarah's mind. This wasn't part of the agreement. As she opened her mouth to protest, Dr. Kira Donovan stepped forward, her eyes gleaming with barely contained excitement. "We be honored, Your Highness," Kira gushed, ignoring Sarah's warning glare. The scientific exchange alone would be invaluable. Zora's fronds rippled in what might have been approval. "Indeed. Your enthusiasm is noted, Dr. Donovan. You'll work closely with our science team." As they were led deeper into the alien ship, Sarah fell into step beside Raj. "Run a full diagnostic," she murmured. "I want to know the second anyone tries to access the kill switch." Raj nodded almost imperceptibly, his cybernetic implants pulsing as he interfaced remotely with Phoenix's systems. Hours passed in a flurry of activity. The human crew worked alongside their alien counterparts, ostensibly integrating Phoenix's technology, but surreptitiously gathering as much intelligence as possible. Sarah watched it all with growing unease, noting the advanced weaponry and the sheer scale of Zora's forces. It was during a rare quiet moment that Raj approached Sarah, his face ashen. "Captain, we've got a problem," he whispered. "I've detected an anomaly in Phoenix's core systems, something that wasn't there when we left Earth." Sarah's blood ran cold. "The kill switch." Raj shook his head. "No, it's something else. More sophisticated. If I didn't know better, I'd say." He trailed off, looking around nervously. "Spit it out, Raj." "It looks like Zara has her own kill switch, planted before we even arrived." The implications hit Sarah like a punch to the gut. Earth's gambit wasn't as clever as they'd thought. They were outplayed before the game even began. As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the ship. Princess Zora's voice echoed over the intercom, all pretense of diplomacy gone. "Attention, human crew. We are now leaving your solar system. Your assistance is appreciated, but no longer required. Attempt to interfere, and your ship will be disabled. Resist, and it will be destroyed. Sarah's mind raced. They were trapped on an alien warship, hurtling away from Earth, with no way to contact home. Their own ship was compromised, and they were grossly outnumbered. But as she looked at her crew, Kira's manic grin, Raj's determined scowl, and the mixture of fear and resolve in the other's eyes, Sarah felt a spark of the defiance that had defined her career. "Well, folks," she said, a grim smile playing on her lips, "looks like the real mission starts now. Raj, find a way around that kill switch. Kira, I need everything you've learned about their biology and technology. The rest of you, prepare for anything." As her crew sprang into action, Sarah stared out a viewport at the rapidly shrinking form of Earth. They might be pawns in Zora's game for now, but she'd be damned if they didn't flip the board before this was over. The Trojan horse gambit had failed. It was time for Plan B, and humanity's real test was about to begin. The vast alien ship hurtled through space, Earth now a distant memory. Inside, an uneasy alliance of humans and aliens worked side by side, though the atmosphere crackled with tension. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, watching as unfamiliar star systems blurred past on the view screen. "Status report," she barked, turning to her crew. Raj's fingers flew over his console. "Their kill switch is good, Captain. Really good. But I think I've found a workaround. Give me a few more hours." Kira bounced on her heels, barely containing her excitement. The Aquilan biology is fascinating. Their cellular structure allows for the short version, Doctor, Sarah interrupted. Kira deflated slightly. "Right. They're susceptible to high-frequency sound waves. Could be useful." Sarah nodded, filing the information away. She turned to address the Aquilan liaison assigned to them, a stern-faced individual named Zorn. "We've been cooperative. I think it's time we got some answers. Where exactly are we going?" Zorn's fronds rippled in what Sarah had come to recognize as annoyance. "Your curiosity is unbecoming, Captain. Princess Zora will reveal our destination when she deems it necessary." The dismissive tone grated on Sarah. "Unbecoming. We're not some pets you've brought along for the ride. We have a right to know." "Rights?" Zorn scoffed. "Your species barely understands the concept. Your history is riddled with oppression and injustice." The bridge fell silent, the human crew bristling at the insult. Sarah took a step forward, her voice low and dangerous. "We may not be perfect, but we're trying. That's more than I can say for a society that kidnaps other species." Zorn's eyes narrowed. "You volunteered your ship." "Under duress," Sarah shot back. "That's called coercion where I come from." The tension in the room ratcheted up several notches. Aquilan guards shifted, hands moving to their weapons. The human crew stood their ground, a united front behind their captain. It was Kira who broke the standoff, stepping between Sarah and Zorn with a nervous laugh. "Hey, let's all take a breath, shall we? We're all stuck on this ship together. Might as well try to get along. How about a cultural exchange? We could learn so much from each other." Zorn's fronds twitched in what might have been surprise. A cultural exchange. "Sure." Kira pressed on, her enthusiasm infectious. "We could share stories, music, maybe even cuisine. I bet there are more similarities between us than differences." The absurdity of the suggestion, a potluck dinner in the middle of an interstellar kidnapping, seemed to take everyone aback. For a moment, the tension deflated, replaced by bewildered amusement. Sarah, recognizing the opportunity Kira had created, nodded slowly. "Not a bad idea, Doctor. What do you say, Zorn? Willing to learn a bit about the species you've shanghaed?" Zorn hesitated, then gave a curt nod. "I will. Consult with the princess." As the Aquilan left the bridge, Sarah pulled Kira aside. "Quick thinking, Doctor. Keep it up. The more we learn about them, the better our chances of turning this situation around." Over the next few days, an odd sort of routine developed. The humans and Aquilans began to interact more, sharing meals and swapping stories. Sarah encouraged her crew to gather as much information as possible, all while Raj worked tirelessly on countering the alien kill switch. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Cultural misunderstandings led to near disasters. An innocent human gesture was seen as a grievous insult, and Aquilan delicacy turned out to be toxic to humans. Each incident was a stark reminder of the vast differences between their species. Through it all, Sarah watched and waited, looking for any advantage. She noted the hierarchy among the Aquilans, the subtle power struggles, the way some of them seemed almost envious of human interactions. It was during one of these cultural exchanges that alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. Princess Zora's voice rang out, tension evident even in her otherworldly tones. All hands to battle stations. We are entering disputed space. Prepare for possible engagement. The fragile peace shattered. Humans and Aquilans rushed to their posts, the camaraderie of moments before forgotten in the face of potential combat. As Sarah raced to the bridge, her mind whirled with possibilities. A space battle could be the distraction they needed to regain control of Phoenix. But it could just as easily end with them all dead in the cold vacuum of space. One thing was certain. The real test of their uneasy alliance was about to begin. And humanity's first foray into interstellar politics was about to get a lot more complicated. The bridge of the Aquilan ship was a flurry of activity as they entered the disputed space. Captain Sarah Chen stood at attention, her eyes darting between the alien consoles and her own crew. Princess Zora swept onto the bridge, her fronds rippling with barely contained agitation. "Status report," Zora demanded. An Aquilan officer responded. "3 Kraxan warships approaching, Your Highness. They're hailing us." Zora's eyes narrowed. On screen, the view screen flickered to life, revealing a reptilian face with multiple eyes and a ridge of horns. "Aquilan vessel," the Kraxan commander hissed. "You are trespassing in Kraxan territory. Surrender or be destroyed." Sarah watched as Zora drew herself up, exuding regal authority. "This space has been neutral for centuries, Commander. We're simply passing through." "Not anymore," the Kraxan sneered. "The Galactic Council ceded this sector to us last solar cycle. Your outdated star charts are not our concern." As the tension mounted, Sarah caught Raj's eye. He gave a subtle nod. He'd made progress on the kill switch. She began to formulate a plan, but before she could act, all hell broke loose. The ship rocked violently as the Kraxan opened fire. "Evasive maneuvers," Zora shouted. "Return fire." In the chaos that followed, Sarah seized her chance. "Princess," she called out, "let us help. We may not have your technology, but we have experience in unconventional warfare." Zora hesitated for a split second, then nodded. "Do what you can, human." Sarah sprang into action, coordinating with both human and Aquilan crew. "Raj, reroute power to the shields. Kira, remember that weakness you found. See if the Kraxan have a similar biology." As the battle raged, Sarah's quick thinking and the humans' unorthodox strategies began to turn the tide. The Aquilans watched in grudging admiration as the primitive humans held their own against an advanced enemy. Just as victory seemed within reach, a second wave of Kraxan ships appeared. "They were waiting for us," Zora snarled. "But how did they know we'd be here?" A chill ran down Sarah's spine as realization dawned. "Because someone told them," she said grimly. "We have a traitor on board." The accusation hung in the air, humans and Aquilans eyeing each other suspiciously. But there was no time to investigate. The new Kraxan ships were charging weapons. "Brace for impact," Sarah yelled. The blast hit them hard, sending crew members flying. As Sarah picked herself up, she saw Raj slumped over his console, blood trickling from a gash on his forehead. She rushed to his side, only to find his eyes wide with panic. "Captain," he whispered, "the kill switch, it's been activated, but not by the Aquilans." Sarah's blood ran cold. "By who?" Before Raj could answer, another blast rocked the ship. Systems began to fail across the board as the kill switch took effect. The Aquilan crew worked frantically to regain control, but it was clear they were fighting a losing battle. In the midst of the chaos, Sarah caught a glimpse of movement in her peripheral vision. One of her own crew, Ensign Taylor, was slipping away from his post, a triumphant smirk on his face. "Taylor," Sarah shouted, "stand down." But the ensign was already running. Sarah gave chase, leaving the bridge in an uproar behind her. They raced through the corridors of the alien ship, alarms blaring and lights flickering ominously. Sarah cornered Taylor in the shuttle bay, where a small Kraxan vessel was docked, clear evidence of his betrayal. "Why?" she demanded, her voice raw with anger and disappointment. Taylor's face twisted with contempt. "You think too small, Captain. The Kraxan offered me power beyond your imagination. Why settle for being a small part of humanity when I could rule a galaxy?" "You've doomed us all," Sarah spat. A cruel smile played on Taylor's lips. "Only those who lack vision." He lunged for the shuttle's controls. Sarah's military training kicked in. She tackled Taylor, and they grappled fiercely. But the ship lurched again, throwing them both off balance. Taylor seized the moment to break free, diving into the shuttle. As the bay doors began to open, Sarah made a split-second decision. She raced back into the main ship, sealing the bay behind her. Taylor and his escape route were jettisoned into space, but now they were trapped on a failing ship in the middle of a space battle. Sarah sprinted back to the bridge, her mind racing. They had a traitor's treachery to overcome, a kill switch to disable, and a battle to win, all while hurtling through disputed space on a crippled ship. As she burst onto the bridge, Sarah locked eyes with Princess Zora. In that moment, a silent understanding passed between them. Human and Aquilan. They were in this together now. Their true test of survival was just beginning. The bridge of the Aquilan ship was a scene of controlled chaos. Alarms blared as systems flickered on and off, the kill switch wreaking havoc on their defenses. Outside, the Kraxan fleet pressed their advantage, their weapons fire lighting up the void of space. Captain Sarah Chen stood shoulder to shoulder with Princess Zora, two leaders united by crisis. "We need to disable that kill switch," Sarah said, her voice tight with urgency. Zora's fronds rippled with frustration. "Our best technicians are working on it, but it's like nothing we've seen before." "Then let's try something you haven't seen before," Sarah replied. She tapped her comm. "Raj, talk to me. What have you got?" Raj's voice came through, strained but determined. "Captain, I've isolated the kill switch's frequency. If we can broadcast a countersignal from Project Phoenix, we might be able to neutralize it." "Might?" Zora questioned sharply. "It's the best shot we've got," Sarah countered. She turned to Zora, her eyes blazing with intensity. "Princess, I know you have no reason to trust us, but right now, we're all that stands between survival and annihilation. Let us try." For a long moment, Zara studied Sarah's face. Then, with a curt nod, she made her decision. "Do it." What followed was a frantic race against time. Human ingenuity melded with Aquilan technology as Raj and the alien engineers worked to implement the counter-signal. Sarah coordinated the defense, her unorthodox tactics keeping the Kraxan at bay despite their failing systems. Just as it seemed they might succeed, a massive energy signature appeared on their sensors. The Kraxan commander's face filled the view screen, his reptilian features twisted in a cruel smile. "Struggle all you want, Aquilan scum," he hissed. "Your fate is sealed. Behold, the might of the Kraxan Empire." The view screen shifted to show a colossal weapon emerging from the shadow of a nearby moon. It was like nothing Sarah had ever seen, a construct of dark metal and pulsing energy, easily the size of a small planet. Kira gasped, her eyes wide with realization. "It can't be. Captain, that's a star killer. It has the power to destabilize a sun's core, turning it into a supernova." The implications hit Sarah like a physical blow. With such a weapon, the Kraxan could hold entire solar systems hostage. Billions of lives would be at their mercy. Zara's voice cut through the stunned silence. So this is why they claimed this sector. They've been building this monstrosity right under our noses. The Kraxan commander returned to the screen. Surrender now, or watch as we demonstrate our power on the nearest inhabited system. Sarah's mind raced. They couldn't possibly give in, but they were in no position to fight. Unless, Princess, Sarah said slowly, the mission you brought us on. It wasn't just about escaping an arranged marriage, was it? You're after something that could counter a weapon like this. Zora's eyes widened in surprise, then narrowed with grudging respect. You're more perceptive than I gave you credit for, human. Yes, we've been searching for an ancient Aquilan superweapon. Legend says it has the power to neutralize any threat. And you think it's in this sector? Sarah finished. That's why you were so insistent on passing through. Zara nodded. It's our only hope against the Kraxan's star killer. A plan began to form in Sarah's mind. It was risky, borderline insane, but it was all they had. All right, here's what we're going to do. Raj, forget the kill switch for now. Divert all power to the engines. Kira, I need you to find a way to mask our energy signature. She turned to Zara. Princess, we're going to make a run for it. While the Kraxan are focused on their demonstration, we'll slip away and find your superweapon. It's our only shot at stopping them. Zora's fronds rippled with a mix of emotions. Doubt, hope, and a grudging admiration. And if we can't find it in time? If they use that weapon on an inhabited world? Sarah's face hardened with determination. Then we'll make damn sure it's the last time they ever use it. One way or another, we're ending this today. As the crew sprang into action, Sarah gazed out at the looming form of the Star Killer. The fate of not just their ship, but potentially countless worlds now hung in the balance. The next few hours would determine whether they'd be remembered as saviors or as those who failed to prevent a galactic catastrophe. With a deep breath, Sarah gave the order. All hands, prepare for emergency jump. We've got a superweapon to find. The battered Aquilan ship emerged from its emergency jump, systems sputtering as the last dregs of power faded. Before them loomed a massive gas giant, its swirling storms concealing a secret that could change the fate of the galaxy. Life support is failing, Raj reported grimly. We've got maybe 2 hours before things get dicey. Captain Sarah Chen nodded, her face etched with determination. Then we've got 2 hours to find the superweapon. Princess, what exactly are we looking for? Zara's fronds quivered with a mix of excitement and apprehension. According to ancient texts, it's a device called the Harmony Sphere. It's said to have the power to nullify any weapon or energy source. Looks like we're not the only ones after it. Kira interrupted, pointing to the ship's sensors. I'm picking up Kraxan energy signatures. They must have followed us somehow. Sarah's mind raced. They were out of time and options. We need to split up. Zara, take half the crew and search the upper atmosphere. I'll lead a team to the core. The Harmony Sphere has to be in one of those places. As they prepared for their desperate mission, alarms blared once again. The view screen flickered to life, revealing the Kraxan commander's smug face. I must commend you on your persistence, he sneered. But it ends now. Surrender the Aquilan princess, or watch as we demonstrate our star killer on this system's sun. Sarah's blood ran cold. The system was inhabited. Millions of lives hung in the balance. She turned to Zara, seeing her own horror reflected in the alien princess's eyes. We can't let them do this, Sarah said, her voice low and urgent. Zara's fronds drooped in anguish. If I surrender myself, my people will be defenseless. The Kraxan will subjugate the entire Aquilan Empire. The weight of the galaxy seemed to press down on Sarah's shoulders. Every second that ticked by was a second closer to unimaginable devastation. But surrendering Zara would doom just as many, if not more, in the long run. It was Kira who broke the paralysis. Captain, Princess, I found something. There's a structure deep in the gas giant's core. It's putting out energy readings like nothing I've ever seen. Hope flared in Sarah's chest. That has to be it. Zara, we're going in. Raj, give us everything you've got left in the engines. As their ship plunged into the gas giant's turbulent atmosphere, the Kraxan opened fire. The vessel shuddered under the assault, but Sarah held firm. Evasive maneuvers. We just need to hold together a little longer. They dove deeper, the pressure mounting as they approached the planet's core. Through the maelstrom, a structure began to take shape, an ancient temple, defying all logic as it floated in the dense gases. There, Zara shouted, pointing at a glowing sphere nestled in the temple's heart. The Harmony Sphere. But before they could reach it, a violent explosion rocked the ship. Conduits burst, showering the bridge with sparks. Direct hit. Raj yelled over the chaos. We're losing containment. Sarah made a split-second decision. Zara, take an escape pod. Get to that temple. I'll hold them off as long as I can. Zora's eyes widened. But you'll. That's an order, princess. Sarah cut her off, her voice brooking no argument. The galaxy needs that sphere more than it needs me. As Zara reluctantly headed for the escape pod, Sarah turned to face her crew. Humans and Aquilans alike looked to her, awaiting her command. In their eyes, she saw not defeat, but resolve. All right, people, she said, a grim smile playing on her lips. Let's show these Kraxan what happens when you back humanity into a corner. The ship groaned around them as Sarah launched a desperate counterattack. Every maneuver, every shot was aimed at buying Zora more time. On the view screen, they watched as the princess's escape pod streaked towards the ancient temple. Just as it seemed their luck had run out, as the Kraxan weapons lined up for the killing blow, a blinding light erupted from the temple. The Harmony Sphere pulsed with power, sending out waves of energy that washed over both their ship and the Kraxan fleet. In an instant, every weapon, every engine, every piece of advanced technology simply stopped. As the light faded, Sarah found herself facing a choice she never imagined. With both fleets disabled and the Harmony Sphere active, the next move would determine the fate of not just this battle, but potentially the entire galaxy. Sarah took a deep breath. The real test of humanity's place among the stars was about to begin. The gas giant's turbulent atmosphere swirled around them, a stark contrast to the eerie stillness that had fallen over both fleets. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of her crippled ship, the weight of galaxies on her shoulders. With the Harmony Sphere activated, every piece of advanced technology lay dormant. In this moment of unprecedented vulnerability, the next move would shape the future of interstellar relations. Sarah's calm crackled to life. Captain Chen. It was Zora's voice, tense but triumphant. I secured the Harmony Sphere. What's our status? All ships are dead in the water, Princess, Sarah replied. Including the Kraxan's Star Killer. We're looking at a clean slate here. A tense silence fell over the bridge. The crew, human and Aquilan alike, looked to Sarah, waiting for her next move. She could feel the weight of their trust, their hope. Open a channel to the Kraxan flagship, Sarah ordered, her voice steady and resolved. The view screen flickered to life, revealing the Kraxan commander. Gone was his earlier smugness, replaced by barely concealed fear. What have you done? He hissed. Sarah stood tall, her chin raised. What you forced us to do. The game has changed, Commander. Your Star Killer is useless, your fleet adrift. But so are we. I'm proposing a ceasefire. The commander's multiple eyes blinked in surprise. A ceasefire? When you hold all the cards. I don't believe in scorched earth tactics, Sarah replied firmly. Or scorched galaxies, for that matter. We have a chance here to rewrite the rules. All of us, humans, Aquilans, Kraxans, we're in uncharted territory. We can choose a different path. As she spoke, Sarah could see the wheels turning in the commander's mind. Fear gave way to calculation, then to a grudging respect. "What do you propose, human?" "A summit," Sarah said. "Representatives from all our species, meeting on neutral ground. We'll discuss disarmament, establish new treaties, find a way to coexist without the threat of superweapons hanging over our heads." The commander was silent for a long moment. Then, slowly, he nodded. "Agreed. We will meet." As the transmission ended, the bridge erupted in cheers. Humans and Aquilans embraced, the barriers between them crumbling in the face of their shared triumph. Zara's voice came through again. "Captain Chin. Sarah, I'm on my way back. You've done something remarkable here." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "We all did, Princess. This is just the beginning." In the days that followed, as ships were slowly reactivated and communications restored, the enormity of what had transpired began to sink in. News spread across the galaxy. Of the Kraxen's thwarted plan, of the Harmony Sphere's power, and of the unprecedented alliance that had saved countless lives. The summit, held on a neutral space station, was unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. Sarah found herself at the heart of the negotiations, her unique perspective as a newcomer to interstellar politics proving invaluable. She watched with pride as human diplomats worked alongside aliens, their adaptability and creativity shining through. It wasn't an easy process. Centuries of mistrust and conflict couldn't be erased overnight. But slowly, surely, a new framework began to take shape. The Harmony Sphere would be placed under joint custody, a deterrent against any one species gaining too much power. Trade routes were redrawn, cultural exchanges established, and a galactic council reformed with new checks and balances. As the summit drew to a close, Sarah stood by a viewport, gazing out at the star-studded expanse. Zara joined her, their reflections side by side in the glass. "Your people have surprised us all," Zara said softly. "We thought we were taking a primitive species under our wing. Instead, you've shown us a new way forward." Sarah turned to her, a wry smile on her lips. "That's kind of our thing. Humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to adapt, to find solutions where others see only problems." Zara's frowns rippled in what Sarah now recognized as amusement. "Indeed, the galaxy will never be the same, thanks to you." "Thanks to all of us," Sarah corrected. "We're in this together now." As if to emphasize her point, a ship appeared in the distance, the newly repaired Project Phoenix, gleaming against the backdrop of space. But now it was more than just a human vessel. Its hull bore the insignia of the new Galactic Alliance, a symbol of the unprecedented cooperation between species. Sarah felt a swell of pride and hope. Humanity had not just survived its trial by fire. It had thrived, bringing a new vision of unity to the stars. As Project Phoenix drew closer, Sarah knew that this was not an end, but a beginning. The universe was vast and full of wonders, and humanity was ready to explore it, not alone, but as part of a greater galactic family.